Sometimes most people are familiar with My Little Pony, including myself. To be honest, the show was always been my childhood forever, rather than just Thomas and Friends or SpongeBob SquarePants. Most of the time, I used to watch the Equestria Girls films more than just the series itself. Friendship Games, for example, is my favorite Equestria Girls movie out of the 4 films I watched. However, there's one memory that still haunts me in my head for days, more than any other lost media created by Adam Kennington. Well, first of all, did any of you guys remember when Rowan, Masterman, aka Cartoon Comedy Channel, and other YouTubers encountered those alternate endings of Madagascar, Chicken Run, and Shrek, along with the deleted version of Sid's arrival from Flushed Away? Well, here's another alternate ending I found from another sacked animator who was friends with Adam Kennington. I was on my laptop watching My Little Pony. So far, most of the episodes are bringing back my childhood, mainly for season 1 and 2. Just then, I got a notification on Google Mail. Strangely enough, the message was from the Hasbro company themselves. The email they sent me said this: "Hello MLP fan from the US. We would like to share you an alternate ending scene of Friendship Games created by an unknown sacked animator who was a part of Adam Kennington. After you watch this, please do not screen this anywhere. Kind regards, Hasbro Studios." I was feeling very surprised to see the Hasbro company sending me an email for the first time. As usual, there was a link to the file, so I downloaded it straight to my laptop. The file name was Friendship Games Alternate Ending.mp4. After downloading it, I clicked on the video, feeling curious what the ending might look like. Just as I was about to watch the video, there was another warning. This alternate ending of Friendship Games was later changed due to it being violence for children or people that are not suitable with sensory issues. If you are like that, please don't watch this. Viewer discretion is advised. I feel like this is not gonna end well, as I groaned in annoyance. The video started with Spike running up to Twilight's Sparkle in fear, shouting out his usual dialogue heard in the final film before she was about to release the magic from her device to harness it against the Wonder Colts. Right before he was about to warn his best friend, the magic began to raise out. Twilight was then turned into Midnight Sparkle and started laughing crazy like normal. Principal Cinch was shocked to see what was happening. She then backed away very slowly, trying to not get caught. Spike watched in horror as his friend began to open up portals and tearing reality apart. However, some of the portals resembled hell, as I heard the screaming souls coming from the lava. The rest of the video played like normal, despite the fact that the portals are different. Sunset Shimmer notices her friend's magical auras, as she realizes that their magic manifests when they exhibit the same traits as the elements of harmony. She then assumes an angelic form resembling Daydream Shimmer. Sunset Shimmer uses her powers to seal the dimensional rifts closed, as she engages Midnight in an explosive magical battle. However, instead of getting distracted by Spike, calling out her name as in the final film, Midnight Sparkle looks down at the people, including the elements of harmony. As her eyes turned red, she then started to speak, but her voice shifted to a distorted filter like heard in foreign dubs of the scene.
You know what? It's best for Principal Cinch anyways.
She then uses her powers on the people who were watching her. Her hands begin to pull most of the people into most of the portals that resembled hell, as she then uses her horn to blast the rest of them. They all screamed in pain after she did that. Fluttershy, Rainbow Dash, Applejack, Rarity, Pinkie Pie, Flash Sentry, and the others were shocked in horror.
You're next,
Midnight Sparkle remarked, pointing to her friends. She then summoned another hell portal. Rarity called out to Spike shouting. Spike began to run away from the chaos as the entire crew then got sucked into the hell portal. Applejack, Pinkie Pie, Fluttershy, Rainbow Dash, and Flash screamed in agony as they were being sucked in, while Rarity on the other hand, shrieked one of her screams from the show, which was heard from the episode Secret of My Excess where she sees Spike as a 50-foot dragon grabbing her before the scene faded to black. Later heard again in the mysterious Mare Duel, where a pony screamed as her baby was about to fall off a cliff before Rainbow Dash saved her, which is what I call a pre-recorded scream from her actor, Tabitha Street Germain. After Midnight Sparkle got rid of her friends, Spike ran into a dead end, meaning that he had nowhere to escape. Principal Cinch watched as she was hiding behind another school building, only to find Midnight Sparkle hovering over Spike, while Daydream Shimmer flies over to the scene, about to attack her. But right before she was about to, Midnight Sparkle said to her dog,
It's time for you to say goodbye, little fella.
Twilight, please don't do this. I'm your friend. I would never do anything to you. Just don't kill me.
Spike shouted as he whimpered in fear. Midnight Sparkle began to use her magic beam on Spike, as the former begins to sulk in fear. At that moment, Twilight blasted her power beam at Spike, killing him. But before it was about to make contact with Spike, the screen cuts to black. All I could hear is Spike letting out a blood-curdling scream as his blood splattered everywhere. Then after about 15 seconds, it faded to the most heartbreaking, yet disturbing moment I had ever seen, as it showed Spike's body lying on a bloody puddle. Half of his body was split up into two pieces that were connected to his waist, and he was missing his left arm. Spike began to cry into tears as he slowly dies. He then looked up at Twilight as his face began to turn into his cute sad look from the original scene as he started whining. Seeing Spike dying reminded me of the scene from VHS 2, where Tank was ungripped from his owner, Gary, as he was abducted by the alien ship's tractor beam. By then, he fell all the way down to the ground, as the camera from his back faces him after it was detached from the impact. Twilight then begins to realize something as he saw his best friend nearly dead from her powers. She then said Spike's name as she temporarily snaps out of her corrupted trance like in the final cut. At that moment, Daydream manages to overcome herself. Midnight Sparkle is now engulfed in a bright light, causing her and Daydream to end up in a white void. In the void, Daydream offers Twilight her hand in friendship, stating that she only wishes to help her. Midnight tearfully accepts, and the two turn back to normal before reappearing in the CHS courtyard, now destroyed due to Midnight Sparkle's wrath.
I'm so sorry,
Twilight said. However, she was crying realistic tears instead of crying in a cartoonish way.
I didn't mean for any of this to happen.
I know.
Sunset Shimmer stated.
And going by my own experiences, they'll forgive you.
After apologizing, Spike didn't jump on Twilight's chest, because he was slowly dying. By then, Twilight went over to Spike's dead body as the latter stopped whining. Twilight spoke, before crying again.
I'm sorry, Spike. I should have listened to you.
It's okay, Twilight. I'll always remember you, as you were my best friend forever.
Spike moaned as his pupils turned really big one last time, giving her one final look on his face. He then closed his eyes as he blacked out. Twilight began to fall into tears as her dog couldn't move anymore. Sunset Shimmer sighed as she felt bad for her. It then cuts to Principal Cinch, who peeked out of the building to see if the chaos was over. She then sighed in relief after noticing Twilight back in her normal self. The camera then pans up to the dark sky as the video ended. After seeing the video, I became appalled and upset at the same time. I later then grabbed out a tissue, wiping my tears out after seeing Spike's death. I then deleted the file, so that way I won't upload it anywhere on YouTube. I begin to have a few nightmares about Midnight Sparkle killing me in my sleep, but luckily, that was all I have. Honestly, I don't know who created this, as if someone became the Hasbro Studios counterpart of Adam Kennington. The moral of the story is this: if you ever find an email with a link of a file of an alternate ending, don't watch it or download it, as it will contain a warning and some graphic violence in it.